everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I thought I would do another story time because the last time I tried it, it actually went really well and you guys seemed pretty interested in it. So I was thinking of some other stories in my head, and then I came across this one memory of something that happened to me back in grade 10 when I was probably about 15 years old. And it's not really that climactic or really suspenseful, but it's just something really funny that happened to me and I was just cracking up remembering it, so I figured I might as well share it with you guys here today. So since I did just start weekly uploading, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for upcoming videos and trying to plan ahead, so I thought this would be the easiest to just start off with something simple where I can just sit down and talk to you guys. So without further ado, I'm just gonna jump in the story. Okay, so like I said, this happened in grade 10 and basically we had this history field trip and oh god, this story is so funny. We had this trip that was coming up, and in my city we have this area called Pioneer Village. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's where a lot of schools go for field trips, and they have all these old style, old fashioned looking kind of buildings, and they have chickens walking around, and they have what schools back in the olden days would have looked like, and it's basically just a ton of actors there acting like pioneers from back in the day, and you just go learn about them and stuff. It's like a very interactive kind of field trip. And for our history class, we were learning about all that stuff, and also the war and the armies and World War I and World War II and all that stuff. So we had this field trip planned for a while. I was really shy growing up. I still kind of am. I'm definitely way more out of my shell now than I was in high school, but in high school I was very secluded. I still had my group of friends and I was still acquaintances with a lot of people. Other than that, I didn't really go out of my way to talk to anyone. In this one particular class in high school, I literally had no friends and it was really awkward. I guess there wasn't even one person I was close with, so I kind of literally just didn't talk to anyone in that class and did my own thing, which makes this whole story even worse. This semester I had drama first period, and we were doing some kind of musical theater unit, and we were singing and dancing, and obviously it's a very loud and upbeat class, and when we're doing stuff like that, then we really we don't hear what's going on in terms of announcements and everything, right? So even though this trip didn't sound too interesting, obviously I wanted to go because you know how it is in school, you just go on the trip, everyone goes. The plan was basically that I thought the plan was that we meet at class at the start of the period, because this was a second period class, and then we just all go on this trip together. So basically, yeah, I had drama first period. We were doing all that musical theater, dancing and singing, I don't know. We could not hear any of the school announcements. I went to a Catholic school growing up, so they literally cared about the uniform more than our education at some points, and if you grew up in a Catholic school too, you're probably sitting there
yes, bitch.
So super strict about the uniform, didn't want you wearing anything other than the school uniform at all times. And since I was going on this trip second period, my class was excused and we could show up in our own clothes. And not even just our own clothes, but since it was a very interactive field trip and we were going to be practicing war stuff and going through dirt tunnels, I don't know. Honestly, history was one of my least favorite subjects. I don't know much about the war, but we're doing all kinds of war related stuff. So I was in all black and yoga pants and black shirt, and I looked like I was on a freaking mission. So it's awkward enough that I was walking through the school to my second period class when a lot of people might not have even known that I was going on a field trip. So I walk to my second period class and the door is locked and it's dark inside. So I don't really know what's going on, and I realized that my class literally left without me. Oh my god. If any of my stories are gonna be a overall representation of my life, it's gonna be this one. What do? I literally go down to the main office and I'm supposed to be on a field trip right now, but the door's locked. Do you know if the class left or something? And then I'm sitting in the office for what felt like forever, and they just don't really, they're whispering off to the side. They're okay, we have this kid who's left behind, what the hell are we gonna do? So they're yeah, the bus already left, is there any possible way you can get a ride there or something? I'm at school, obviously not. And aside from that, I live with my mom has never driven. I've grown up taking public transportation my entire life, and plus my high school is on the very other end of the city, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So that's out of the question. And then I'm like literally sitting there and they're like talking, trying to figure out what to do with me. And they come to the conclusion that the vice principal is gonna drive me there. And this isn't like some chill guy, like, oh, okay, thanks for the ride, like it's casual, whatever. This is someone that like everyone hated. There would be fake Twitter accounts on him that like everyone in the school would follow, and they would just like quote dumb things he says. Like everyone hated this principal. Oh, it's so freaking awkward just thinking back on it. I had to like walk out to like the teacher and principal reserved parking lot area and like follow him, and then he's like,
you have to sit in the back seat, this is inappropriate.
Like, oh my,
are you gonna molest me?
Oh, the whole thing was just so awkward. And I remember this place was like kind of far out of the city, so we were just making awkward small talk the whole time. And I'm just thinking, what am I gonna do when I get there? Because I'm not even friends with like a single person in this class. So basically he drops me off there. And since in high school you're like considered a kid and like your safety's your responsibility, he like had to escort me to the class. So we were walking around this place trying to figure out where my class was, me and the vice principal, just so freaking awkward. And then I was hoping at this point in the field trip everyone would kind of be like spread out doing some kind of activity. So it would kind of end up being a scenario where I just like came in and joined along and like no one really realized it. But of course, with my luck, we walk up to the class and we find them lined up in a row with some kind of person pretending to be like a commander in front of them, going over like freaking, I don't know, they were doing something, learning something. They're lined up, my entire class. So my principal leads me in front of this line and is explaining in front of like the person, in front of my entire class, that they left without me and that he's dropping me off last minute or something. So basically everyone's watching the situation, but I'm not even friends with anyone. Oh, this is so awkward, like 5 years later, and it's like, ugh, I feel so bad telling it. So they tell me to just get a spot, and I missed the whole first freaking chunk of the trip. So I just join everyone. I feel like I need to try like playing it cool, so like to the people beside me, and like for the remainder of the field trip, if people like look kind of confused because I wasn't there for the first bit, I'm like,
oh my god, the bus like literally left without me, haha.
And like laugh it off. And like literally no one even said anything or cared because I had no friends in that class. Ugh. So that's really the end of the story. The rest of the day went on how it normally would, except I missed the first bit. And that's the time my school bus left without me and my class forgot me for the field trip. And it's just funny because for trips like that you always have to do like attendance and stuff, and I guess they would have called my name and like, I don't know, even though I paid and stuff, they're just like, okay, whatever, like,
I guess Victoria's not here.
we're not even gonna wait 5 minutes for like class to actually start.
We're just gonna go.
Yeah, all because I had drama first period and couldn't hear the announcement. So yeah, the announcement I guess just said like, oh, if you're going on this field trip and you're this person's history class, leave class now 5 minutes early and we're gonna go like meet up for the bus. Which we were never told in advance, or else I obviously would have like managed what time I left class and everything. So just a messy, annoying situation, which basically describes my life. It's so nice talking to you guys again, like always. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Alone again.